Hi, hello. Welcome to the third session on Unix scripting, that is shell scripting for DBS. So in this particular session, we are going to cover the second half of the first chapter, where in the first part of this chapter we have covered completely about the basics of shells and what are the different kinds of shells that we have and how do we basically execute a shell script. And we have also understood the importance of the path variable, and we have also seen built-in commands and also user-defined commands that you can execute on the command line. That's what we have covered so far, and in this second half of this particular chapter, that is in this session, we are going to completely see how do we create and run a successful script that is a simple bash script. And after that, we should also know how do we debug the script. As I said in the last session, it is very, very important not only to write a script and also to understand how to be able to figure out the problem. Because sometimes it will become very, very, hectic when you keep writing a script. If it is of 500 lines, and if there is a problem at line number 10 or line number 20, or it can be in the line number, 320, how do you basically directly jump into that line and identify, yes, there is a problem in this particular part? Because shell scripting, to tell you guys, it is purely syntactically, I mean, it works on the syntax. Even a single extra space might also lead to failure of that particular line completely. So shell scripting is very, very sensitive with respect to the syntaxes. It is not that friendly. Where you find some tools in the market, you drag drop, and the code will be generated at the background. It is not of that kind. It is purely, you have to type it one after the other. And because you have to type it line by line and word by word, definitely there are chances of, typo mistakes. There are chances of missing braces, adding extra braces, even a single colon or a single apostrophe at some point will lead to the failure of that complete line. And if that is part of a loop, definitely that loop might start malfunctioning and it will be generating hundreds and thousands of dummy records unnecessarily. So that's the reason, as in the first few sessions, first couple of sessions, we have seen the benefits of, shell scripting and where can we use, etc., etc. But definitely this is one of the major drawback of the shell scripting, where you have to manually go and write each and every character in the script and make sure you're not doing some mistake anywhere. So saying this, that's the reason you have to also learn now how do we basically debug whenever there is an issue in the script. That's what the topic number 1.5 will speak about, but 1.4 is completely to tell you guys how do we basically write a successful script and run that script, and what are the different ways of running the script. Because just after writing a script, there is not just one way to run it. There are multiple ways of running it, and how do we basically run, etc., etc., is what we are going to see now. So as a part of this learning, first thing that you should learn in this topic, creating and running a script, how do you write a script and how do you name it? Before we go into how do we execute it in different fashions or how do we run it in different ways, first you have to know how do we create it and what are the different ways. And please, as I said you, to write a script, the best tool that I will be using throughout this course, and I have been using so far throughout my career, was VI editor. So probably if you are the one who was already working on the Linux environment, you must be knowing what is VI editor. But for the one who doesn't know, VI editor is something just like your notepad on your Windows or notepad plus plus on your Windows. So you basically open in the Windows the file or a text file in a UI format, and you go, with the use of graphical interface, you go to the line where you wanted to go and edit, you type it, you save it and close it. But because you will be connected to the Unix environments on the black platform or text platform, text-based terminals, definitely you have to make use of the editors like VI editor. There are few more editors also in the market. On each and every platform there are specific editors like gedit or something like that. But now I will be using completely the VI editor to basically open a file, edit a file, write a script in the VI editor and close it off. So this is what I'll be using, and that's how I use it. And as soon as you basically write a script, do not worry what should be the extension of it. What is the extension that I mean? For example, if you have an MP3 file or a music file, basically it will be ending with the extension called .mp3 or .mp4 or something like that. If you have a video files, it will be ending with the extension called .avi, .div or something like that. But if you have a document, it will be ending with .doc, .pdf, .txt, it can be something like that. Very similarly, and if you have an executable or if you are installing any applications, you know that it will be the file will be ending with the extension called .exe. But if you are writing a shell script, do not worry about what should be the extension of that particular file name. It can run, it is least bothered about what is the extension of the file. It can be .sh, it can be .bash, it can be .ksh, it can be nothing at all, because as I have shown you earlier, I have written a script like this with the name called Oracle Date, and I did not give any extension here at all. There is no .sh, there is no .log, there is no .txt, there is no .dmp, there is nothing. So to name a shell script, you do not need any extension specifically. But as a habit, because it is only a good habit and a best practices or best standards of writing a shell scripting, always try to name the shell script with the extension with the shell that you wanted to run. For example, because you are trying to write a bash shell scripts, all the shell scripts with the bash will be ending with the extension called .sh. So that's the only reason why we will be naming all the shell scripts with the extension .sh. But as I am saying you guys again, that is not a thumb rule at all. It is not, I mean, there is no rule saying that if you don't name the file with the extension called .sh, your shell will not run that script. There is no such rule. It can run any file with any naming convention, but the content inside that file should be readable by the shell. That's it. As simple as that. That's what we'll be showing here, and VI editor is the one that we will be basically using throughout this course. And whenever you write a scripts, whenever you start writing multiple scripts, definitely it is very, very important for you to easily go and find out where are your scripts if you know at least part of the script name. So how do we basically find the scripts and what are the different commands, not only which, where is, and also locate. We are also going to see find command, how these commands will actually help you to go and search the scripts for you. In case if you know the script name and if you don't know the actual location where is it residing, you can use the commands which we are going to discuss in detail later. And as I said, not this one. So definitely, as script 1.sh will be our first script that we will be writing, and this is the script that we are going to use with a simple example, not the example that I have given here. So instead of using whatever examples that you will be seeing going forward, I will not be taking so much of complicated example. I don't want to make you guys feel more complicated to learn this. So though I gave all these things in the document, but while executing it, I'll make sure I'll give you a very simple example so that the concept directly hits you and then you save or you understand it appropriately. So we are going to create a script and we are going to execute it. When I say execute, the first important requirement to execute a script is it requires execute permissions. So if there are no executable permissions on that particular file that you are creating, nobody can run a bash script. Whether it is command that you are creating or a script that you are creating or a tool that you are running, it can be anything. It cannot run at all. So executing permissions is the first priority that you will have to basically give on top of that particular file so that we can execute that bash script successfully on the command line console. And then after you give it, you can basically run it in different ways. You can just say file name, it will run, or you can just say / script name, it will run, or you can just say sh script name, it will run. You can just say bash script name, it will run. Now please remember, what is that I'm trying to tell you is, if you just say / script name, it is something different. If you say sh space script name, executing is something different. If you say bash hyphen and then script name, the execution is something different. Similarly, if you say r bash and then script name, the execution is something different. And also you can also use source and then script name, it is something different. Please remember these different types. What is dot slash means actually, what is r bash followed by script name means, what is sh followed by script name means, all these things we are going to see that in detail with the help of the example that I'm coming up here. As you see here, we will definitely deal that there. So but to tell you guys at this moment, there are different ways of executing a script. First example, you can directly give the script name, or you can say dot slash script name, or you can basically give source and script name, or bash and script name, sh and script name, similarly ksh and script name, and csh and script name, etc., etc. But I will explain that in detail with the help of example so that you understand it much better. And please remember, whenever you are running a script, specifying in which shell that script has to run is very, very important. If you don't specify in which shell it has to run the script, by default it will run the script in the default shell that the user has logged in with. For example, I log into the database, I log into the Unix server as Oracle user. And if you have written a script in Conn shell, and if you do not specify in which shell it has to run, basically it will go and run the script in the bash. Because for the Oracle user, the default shell is bash. That's the reason, very importantly, you have to either use Shebang or you have to use specific shell to run that script. What is that specific shell? This is what it is. If you say sh followed by script name, it will run this script in the Bourne shell. If you say bash followed by script name, it will run this script in the born again shell. If you say ksh followed by script name, it will run this script in the Conn shell. I think now you have understood the difference of running it just with dot slash and running it with the shell names as a prefix. So that is what makes the difference. If you just run the script with dot slash, dot means the current directory, slash means in the current directory you will find the script like this. And in this script, whenever you are running with dot slash, make sure the first line of the script specifies Shebang. So when you specify Shebang in the first line of the script, that tells into which shell it has to go and execute the script. If you do not want to specify the Shebang in the script, and if you have a different shell execution, definitely you have to make use of these syntaxes to execute them. So this is the difference between executing the scripts in different ways. And coming back to this way, if you can directly give the script name, please remember this kind of executions requires that this script name should be existing in the path variable location. So as I said in the earlier example, I'll come back here, see here, as we did in the last session, because we created a script. When we create that script, this execution fails. And as soon as we copy that to one of the locations where your path variable is updated with, then as soon as you type that just the command or that script name, it will be executed. And inside the script, I have clearly given using which shell script it has to execute it. Definitely it will help you executing in the same shell. These are the different ways. So what are the different ways to just categorize? One, directly giving the script name. This will only work when this script is available in the locations, one of the locations in the path variable, or just give dot slash and the script name. That means in the current location, it will go and try to run this script. So this script, if it is not available in the current location where your cursor is, this script will not basically run. So whenever you are running the script like this, make sure the first line of this script has got the Shebang given. And another way is r bash followed by script name. That means though you give Shebang in this script name, it will execute that in r bash shell. Similarly, sh, it will execute in shell, normal bash, Bourne shell, not born again shell. And if you give bash, it will execute in born again shell. And source will basically execute the script with the shell that you are connected to currently. That's it. These are the different ways that you execute a script. So definitely if you are running a script with using dot slash, or if you are trying to schedule the scripts in the cron tab, so using Shebang is very, very important. And please make sure, because we will be writing up the scripts going forward with lots and lots of lines, always make sure you particularly add comments for each and every block of code or each and every code, whichever is appropriate for you. So because comments will basically help you to debug the issues later as well. So, or for you, or also for your core DBA, if he wants to go and read the script to understand how the script is working, without the comments it would be very, very tough for him to understand that. So in the shell scripting, whatever you start with hash in the first character of a line, it will consider that the complete line is a comment. It will not execute that line. And any line which is not starting with hash, it will clearly understand that it's not a comment, it has to execute that line. And as I said in the beginning, shell scripting is nothing but it's a script with set of lines that has to be executed line after the line. This is all about the comments. So let us first of all execute this script. So before that, let me write a script, and then first of all I should connect to my system. So let me connect to my server, which I used in the last session as well, and then we will start. So I'm just setting up the environment variables just in case if we need it, we will be using it. Now as I said, we will be always using the directory called scripting, where I create all the scripts throughout this course. So I am creating a script called script1.sh. That's it, an empty file. So if you say ls-ltr, you have this script called script1.sh. I have given sh just to make sure that I understand from the name of this file that I'm going to use I'm going to write something inside this file in the bash, that is born again shell. Now let us find how do we basically search for the scripts. For example, if you want to search for the script in the same location, you can use find command, and if you use dot and then name with the name called script star, in the current location it will be basically searching for the files with the starting name called script. That is what this one says. Find in dot all the names of the file with the name script. Dot in the sense in the current location. And if you wanted to go back and then say find in /home/oracle anything with the name called script, you will see there is a directory with the name scripting, and in specific if you want to search star.sh, it will say that inside this scripting I have whatever you wanted. So find is a beautiful command that will basically help you to search your files on the operating system level. And the next one is very important thing is locate. So locate is something, but it will not work until unless the local database on this particular server is actually running. So what I would do is I would go to scripting, or instead of this locate star.sh. I'm sorry. So I will say locate script star.sh. So it is saying that though we have a file name called script1.sh, it is saying that there is nothing that I can find, because locate is the command which works with the updated database. So there, for each and every Linux operating system also, there will be an internal database running. So in that internal database, it did not update with the new file that has been added few minutes ago. So to do that, you require again, I will be just showing you guys how does locate works. So you need root access to update the database on the server. So the command is update db. Please, this is not a database we are speaking about. This is not the Oracle database. This is not MS SQL database, nothing. This is an internal database that Linux maintains to actually map the files and addresses. That's it. So now I am telling update your local database manually, because I wanted to just check whether this script is available or not. So we are going to see that. That's it. That for that reason we are trying to update it. Basically you will not have rights to do that, but just to show you the functionality of this locate command, I am manually updating the database inside my Linux operating system. So let us wait for a while and see. After this update db, we will be running the locate as an Oracle user after coming back from root. So as you see, it is done. So I'm just giving exit. I came back to Oracle. Now I fire locate. So where is it? Sorry, locate script or star. Now you can clearly see the output of this script clearly saying that, because script command will not basically work with an extension. Sorry for that. It doesn't actually, after the star, it doesn't basically work with an extension like this. That's the reason if you just say locate script star, it can clearly now show you that there is a script with a name called script1.sh. So this is how the locate command will also help you to basically identify the files if you know partial name of it or full name of it. But the beauty is, the one that I am very comfortable and I will be basically using for myself is the find command. So that is more useful for me than any other command so far. So that is how you will be able to locate. So now let us see what are the different ways of executing it. So the first thing, as I said, is to have executable permissions on this script. So because we know this already, read write, there is no execute for the owner. Read only is available for the other users in this oinstall group, and read only permissions is available for all the others in the server. If I wanted to give only executable permissions to the owner itself, but others should remain same, I would just say 744 and then script. Now if you say lsfnltr, read write execute is available here, and read for the other users on the operating system. That's fine. I have given the executable permissions. Now I should write something inside this script so that it has to execute it. So I'm just typing date in it. That's it. So I would just cat it for your logging purposes. Now what are the different ways of executing it? First, if you want to run this script in just bash shell, so just say bourne shell, just say sh and then script name. See, it has executed inside this script. There is a date command. It has executed that. If you want this to run in bourne again shell, you can write it like this. The same thing has happened. If you want the command to run in con shell, you can run it like this. If you want this to run in C shell, just run it like this. Done. So this is different ways of running it. Another way is simply say /script. So when you say /script, this particular script will be executed with the default shell that you are running with. So what is the default shell that you are connected with? Bash shell. So it is running with the bash shell if you just say /. When I say dot, it is in the current location. There is a name called this, you execute it. But if you say me, will the script 1.sh will directly execute it? No. Because when you type a command something like this, it will expect that this file is existing in one of the locations of the path variable which is not existing. Because it is located in /home/oracle/scripting and it is not part of this complete path, so it will not work. And in case if you want this to work, just what is that you have to say? Export path is equals to the current path variable, whatever value is there, that one should be there. Along with that, also include this location. So if you edit the path variable like this, now if you directly say script1.sh, it will work. So these are the different ways of running a script on the operating system. So let us come back to the document, and that's what it says. And please, as I said, you have to basically appropriate it wherever required. So in the script, because the first line itself is the command, I should say that command to capture date on the OS. This is what the command I gave. So I'm just catting it for your logging purposes. So there is a typo here. You can excuse it, please. And yes, this is how you have to basically comment. And if you run this script, see script1.sh, see here, it executes it, but the first line it did not execute because I started this particular line with the character called hash. It will basically avoid that. That's how it runs. So let us see the next exercise. And please, Shebang, as I said, in case if you wanted to run this script always in the bash, that is nothing but bourne again shell, please try to use Shebang here. So in the first line, always the first line should be the Shebang. Hash !bin/bash, and then save it. I'm catting it for your logging purposes. Make sure this whatever you give here, it is existing. If that is not existing, your Shebang will throw the error. It will not work. Your script will not work properly. And now, whether you run directly from /script or whether just say script.sh script1 sorry, script1.sh, because it is in the location. It will always execute this command only in the born again shell, because we have given shebang here. And this will also work beautifully, because in case if you want to schedule this into your cron tab, as I guess you guys know probably now what is cron tab, because cron tab is only a utility on the operating system which will help you to schedule things. So if I wanted to use the cron tab now, so let me show you that example as well. I will just go and edit this one so that I can see the cron tab results. I would just say, just redirect this output to /home/scripting and this one, and I will be catting it for you so that you see this, and make sure this location is available. So ls-ltr and then this one, and please remember what is the meaning of date after that, greater than symbol, and then this one. Execute this command, and output of this command has to be redirected to this file. If this file is not existing, it will create this file and redirect the output to this file. So do you find this file in this location at this moment? No, we don't find it, right? So now what is that I'll do is, I'll schedule it now. So what is the current date? It is 16/12, that is 13. So I will write a cron tab now, cron tab -e, and then it should be 14, and then 14 minutes, 16 hours, star, star, star. Go and execute please /home/oracle/scripting/script1.sh. Please execute it. So now let me actually save it and then say cron tab -l. Now I said that execute this script at 16 hours 14 minutes. So what is the current date? It is 26 seconds left. So let us wait for 26 seconds. After 26 seconds, it has to be executed. And after it is executed, because in this script, I said that output has to be redirected to this file. So I should see that script2.output file should be created in this location after, 6 seconds more. So let us wait for it. Just say date, and now date. Yes, it is done. See now, there is script2.out created. That's the beauty. Now you just say cat and this one, there will be whatever you have written inside this script to be executed, it has shown you this. So these are the different ways of executing and creating a script. What is that we have learned so far in this 26 minutes? We have learned how do we write a script with the VI editor, and how do we comment it appropriately, and how do you use a shebang, and what are the different ways of executing the script using shell, using con shell, using everything, and how do we locate the scripts, and also how do we basically use them in the cron tab. I'm not going to explain you how the cron tab works, because that is purely into Linux basics but not scripting basics. So if you are not comfortable with the cron tab, please get yourself comfortable with the cron tab, then you will understand whatever I have done so far, the syntaxes in the cron tab and everything that you have to get familiarized yourself. Alright, now coming back to the next topic for our discussion. Now because we understood how do we write a script and how do we execute it, etc, etc, now let us see how do we basically debug the script. That means to basically debug a script, I should create a problem inside the script, correct? So there are again different ways of using debugging, so I don't want to go through this completely, but instead I'll be telling you only, I will be coming back to the activity and I'll be explaining you with the help of activity what is this complete subtopic wants to explain you. So as you see on the screen, let us create a script with an issue. So there is no command called dummy, so I'm creating a script with the command called dummy in between. That means whenever script executes, at this point it will basically fail. Alright, so let us actually do that. So just say, now I'm removing the cron tab because it is not required, and now just open the script again, script1.sh, and now here I'm also removing this, but now including date command, and now I'm saying dummy, and then another successful command that works is /etc host. So now let me cat this script for your logging 1.sh. This is how I have given. So whenever I execute this script, see here, there will be one problem that I will face. It will be just saying me that there is a problem in line number 5. Now it is because it is also showing you the dummy command, it is simple. But when you go in reality and when you start writing shell script, right, whenever you have a loops, definitely it will be very problematic for you to identify, though the line number is there, it is very problematic for you to identify what is the exact problem in that line, because that line might be probably working fine, but you will not be able to find out why that command is not working. It might be because of the wrong value inside that variable also. So how do we basically analyze this problem? There are different ways. So the first, it is divided into two parts. How do we if you want to debug the script completely, what are the different ways of doing it? And if you want to debug the script only partially, that means you know where exactly the problem is, and if you wanted to debug it only above that and then stop it after that line is completed also, you can do it. So now first case, if you want to debug the complete script, what are the different ways? So when you're running the script using bash like this, bash and then script name, you can use the clause called -x. -x is nothing but debugging. Now if you see the output, it is saying that first command that I see in the script is date, I executed it, it has ran successfully. The second command that I find inside the script is dummy, that's where I see the error. The third line or inside the script is what I found, cat/etc.host, I executed it successfully. So when I say bash-x, it is showing me in detail about line by line command and also the results of that command. This is what happens with bash-x. And in case if you wanted to use it at the Shebang level, you can open this script, and wherever you have this /bin/bash, you can just say -x here. And then I will catting it before I run it, and then just run it. It will do the same debugging. See here again, this output and this output is same. Instead of you giving that in the bash in the command here, you are writing that inside the script in the Shebang itself, and then it is doing complete debugging for you. Another way of doing it is, please remember -x is the important clause that you have to remember for debugging in bash. That is nothing but born again shell. So instead of this, you can also give just after your Shebang, you can just say set -x. Simple. So let me cat it. So if you use set -x here just after your Shebang, now you just run the script, it will again do the debugging for you. See here, as soon as set -x it sees in the shell script, that means it will identify that it has to do the debugging from that point of time. So from that point, because I did not say where to end the debugging, it will debug every command that it finds. So it has debugged date, it has debugged dummy, it has debugged etc host, and here it is clearly saying that this is where the problem is existing. And these are the different ways how do we debug the complete script. So in case if you want to only debug part of the script, how is that possible? Yes, as we have seen, what is set -x? Just use set -x and set hyphen, instead of hyphen use plus. So I'm removing it here, and I wanted to only debug this one. So just write set -x here and set +x here. Alright, so let me cat it for you. So as you see, use set -x before dummy and set +x after dummy. That means you are enabling debugging here and you are disabling debugging here. Now if you run this script, see here, it has only debugged dummy, that's it. Earlier to this dummy, definitely date command was executed, but it is not showing what was the actual command it has executed, but it is only showing you the result. Similarly, after you stopped debugging, it has given you the output of cat/etc host, but it is not showing you what it has executed in the debug mode. So to enable debug mode, set -x. To disable debug mode, set +x. This is how you can use debugging skills to identify where is the actual problem in case if your script is facing some problem somewhere in any of the line in the script. So this is how, this is all about this particular session discussion. So in the first half of this is, in the first half of the, in the first part of this session, we have clearly understood how do we write scripts, how do we execute them, how do we locate scripts, and how do we write shebangs, etc. And now we have understood how do we basically debug the script to identify what has executed and what was the output at that point of time. And please, again, I'm trying to repeat, writing bash scripting should be very, very, you have to be very attentive while writing it. because every dot that you basically write, if that doesn't make any sense to the system, it will throw the error at that point of time. And if the dot is falling in a loop, definitely it will be problematic so many number of times that your loop will become. All right. All right. So in the next chapter, as you see on the screen, we are going to see everything about the bash environment, and I'll be coming up with topics, I mean the details of these contents, and then we will be discussing about the bash environment there, and where we will be seeing how do we initialize bash environment, and what are the variables and characters, how do we assign them, and what are the expressions and aliases. These are the 3 topics that we are going to cover in the next session. All right. Okay. Thank you.